As you can see, the very estranged hip-hop singer slash rapper is now fading away and moving to Utah. Already here, actually. Let's talk about the album. Hollywood's Bleeding is the newest album released by Post Malone. I've had a very strange history with this artist. I remember White Iverson coming out a long time ago. Actually, it was one of the few hip-hop songs at the time that I found, oddly enough, some comfort in, with a job that I really didn't like that much, so yeah, there's part of that. And then last year's album he released, I thought was pretty interesting considering the singles that he released. There is a little disconnect with some of the songs and some of the style that he has used in order to move his music forward, but overall, he grows on me consistently. And the more I listen to him in interviews as well, he's an interesting guy. I've got to say, he's someone that I would really love to just chat with. I would love to have a moment, an hour maybe, on this channel perhaps, to just talk to him. I would love that. Now let's get down to the album itself. What do I think of it? The first thing I kind of want to get out of the way is I feel like this release is both on time and off time. I feel like Post Malone should have waited one more year to release something like this, but at the same time, we kind of felt it coming, and right now in September, this is the perfect time to release an album like this. The entire mood of this album is perfect for the fall. I feel like that's just a connection I have with the album and certain moods that help with this season that's upcoming and almost basically has arrived. But there is a part of me that says, you know, Post, you are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I think maybe you should just wait a little bit and let the music, you know, have its time, let it sink into the people, and then release something new. I don't know. Like, I feel like a lot of the really good artists, the ones we deem great for this decade, are kind of doing that. They're waiting 2 or 3 years to release their music because, well, they can. Some people don't care about that timing, and that's fine too. Just, you know, give us something worthwhile. So having said all that, what do I think of this album? There are moments that I think are really great, and there's some moments where I think they're just alright. The songs that I don't particularly find fantastic still are alright if you're looking for just a standard Post Malone vibe. You are going to enjoy basically this entire album if you're just a fan of him, the guy. There isn't much about this album I feel like is actually bad, but there are select songs where you feel like this is definitely better than the other one that I just listened to. One song I particularly am finding myself really liking is 1,000 Bad Times. In the newest single called Circles, yeah, I've replayed that one quite a lot recently. There's a song on here called Die For Me that has both Future and Halsey. The song is like, I like it. I do think it could be slightly better, but I do like it a lot. And I think that trio combo, I don't know what it is, but I'm just like, you know, that's actually a really interesting trio right there. Like, I don't know if everybody likes those people, but combined, it's like, I'm interested. One of the latter songs called I Know I was kind of interested in at the end. And the song Wow is definitely one of his good choices to get marketed as a single. So good job on that one. Now there are a few things I would like to mention just because I do have some, I guess you would call them negatives, so let me just get those out of the way. He does include the song Sunflower, and I do like that song. At first I was a little confused by it, but it's grown on me so much. It really has. The thing is, I don't feel like we need this song in this album in particular. It just feels out of place a little bit. It doesn't feel like it's not Post Malone. It just feels like it's out of place. It's almost like, let's just throw it in there just because. But we already know it was part of the Spider-Verse movie. I don't know. The song The Internet is probably my least favorite song on here. And the song Goodbyes, I don't find a particularly great marketed single. I don't think it's terrible, but I don't enjoy that song as much as Circles and many of the others on here. The song On the Road is not bad, but I don't find Meek Mill's inclusion in it very helpful. It takes away more than it adds, in my opinion. And then there is one song on here that I'm kind of torn on. It's called Take What You Want. It's got Travis Scott and Ozzy Osbourne. Yeah. It feels like it relies too much on an echo production, I think. I feel like if we just felt like it actually filled a stadium instead of relying on an echo effect, this song would be knocked out of the park. So I like listening to it, but at the same time, I know that it could have been, I think it's the production. I think it could have been produced differently. But man, there could be something else. I'm not sure. So overall, I do have some mixed feelings about this album, and I also do think it was released a little premature. I would have been okay with it being released a few months later, but again, I feel like this is the right season to release this album. So it would have been fall 2020, which I guess could have been okay, waiting a little bit longer. I am glad that we have it. I just think if he had worked a little bit more, there could have been even more great songs in here, because there's some great ones and there's some ones that, they're fine because people probably like Post Malone. But I think he's at a point where we can really have him explode a little bit more. And as strange as the man is, he's getting a lot of interesting attention, and I think he's found something that works for him. And I want to see what else he can do with that. So after having listened and reviewed this album, with production of 82%, creativity 71%, expression and lyrics 52%, I'm going to give this album a good. This is one of those strange moments where, this is something that's growing on me. It's not a style I think anybody else can really nail very well, and I think there are either some copycats or ripoffs of his style that I'm not liking, but his style I am learning to like a little bit more. So we are going to have to see what that will entail in the near future. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. And remember, if you want to discover, promote, and review the best in entertainment, remember to subscribe and follow all the social media for this channel down below so you can get that yes in your life. See you next time.